I want to tell you how excited about you watching these videos. It's not the most exciting subject in the world, and yet if you've continued with the process, you're learning about grieving. And I talk about grieving a lot, and I want to tell you why. Many, many years ago, when I was a teenager, I went around visiting different churches, and there was a particular scripture that was just radiating inside of me, and it was, "The joy of the Lord is my strength." And so I went on a search to find Christians who had joy. And I'm not talking about the joy that we experienced during praise and worship. I'm talking about joy in their life. And it was quite an eye-opening experience in visiting different churches, because back then, I would have to say I found more death than I did joy. It was very discouraging. And so I began to ask the Lord, where is this joy? You said that you died for our peace and our joy on this earth. Where is that at? And in the back of my mind, it's always been a search. Where is that? I don't believe that it's just a feel-good time, a moment to where, I'm excited because I'm at church, I'm excited because I'm around Christians. I think it should be something that I carry 24/7. And without the Lord, without me knowing it, the Lord was showing me that through the grieving process, we actually can find the joy of the Lord. You say, well, how does that work? Well, think of yourself as an aquarium. And I've had saltwater aquariums, and I just absolutely love taking care of them. But it took a lot of work. It took a lot of attention. And so the balance had to be perfect. And so in that process, I wanted the water to be clean. And I'm using that analogy because that's exactly what the Lord wants inside of here. He wants us to clean. And I believe with all my heart, I can't prove it, not trying to prove it, but somehow communion and grieving go hand in hand. I believe communion's more than just a cracker and a little drink and saying a little prayer every once in a while. Personally, I think communion's constant. A constant staying aware of what's going on in here. And so grieving's important to me because the Lord's taught me to grieve not just major losses, but all my losses. I remember when I turned 50. Oh my gosh. I remember when I turned 40. I remember when I turned 30. Each one of those were a loss. I lost my 30s. I lost my 40s. I lost my 50s. And so I went through the grieving process with each one of those. And so I've learned that every aspect of my life is actually a death when it goes away. And so being able to get those emotions out is cleaning the aquarium, to constantly literally let it go. And I'll tell you who taught me this was David. When God said David was a man after his own heart, what was he saying? I think David was constantly cleansing himself, constantly pouring out how he really felt about man, about himself, about God, about the world. When you read the Psalms, you'll see the grieving process in action in a king's life. And so there's where my passion for grieving comes from. So let's keep growing together and let's grieve together.